Welcome to another Tempo Storm Meta Snapshot Breakdown. The newest expansion has been revealed, and it seems we will be heading to the Darkmoon Faire in early November. Many players are eager to see where the latest expansion will take us, but only time will tell what will be printed and what we'll see play. One thing is for certain though, we here at Tempo are praying that Shaman and Warlock receive some love and get to compete amongst the top tiers with the rest. The meta has become relatively stale, and a lot of decks feel the same in terms of power level. It's at the point where we discussed removing Tier 1 for this meta snapshot altogether, but we decided that some decks were indeed worthy of that title. Before we take a look at our meta report, we'd like to remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to turn notifications on to be kept up to date with all of our strategy game content. It will help us out a ton, and we have a load of Hearthstone content slated for the new expansion, so keep your eyes peeled. Without further ado, let's jump right into Tier 1. We previously mentioned that we almost removed Tier 1 from the snapshot, but decided upon keeping it due to the slight difference in power level from some of the top decks. Currently, there are two different decks comprising Tier 1, and both are very powerful and the best choices for ladder. Leading off Tier 1 is Soul Demon Hunter. To the surprise of no one, this archetype has taken over the meta following the nerfs to Mage and continues to see a surge in power. If you've queued ladder lately, you've likely seen Illidan everywhere, and that probably won't change until the new expansion. The class is extremely versatile and has access to several different tools. Demon Hunter is consistently given access to powerful tools, and Scholomance Academy was no different. Demon Hunter continues to be a force to be reckoned with and is easily the best deck to learn for the time being. Its best matchups come from the non-top tier decks, as it can genuinely outclass any non-tier 1 or 2 deck at the moment. It's important to note that it is even or even slightly favored against the other top tier decks though, aside from Libram Paladin. Paladin is currently Demon Hunter's only unfavorable, proving simply how durable this deck is at the moment. The only other deck within Tier 1 this time around is Tempo Mage. Despite being nerfed in the recent balance patch, the archetype is still super strong and has the ability to cheat out wins frequently. While the nerfed Evocation and Solarian Prime slowed the deck down, it still is able to compete amongst the top decks, proving how strong it truly was before the balance patch. Tempo Mage can still be annoying to deal with due to the random nature of the deck, but this can also make it incredibly fun to play at times. Tempo Mage does well against Libram Paladin, making it one of the best decks to target Uther in the current meta. If you're seeing a lot of Paladin, then this is the deck for you. As for bad matchups, Bomb Warrior has historically been problematic for this deck. They have access to a near infinite arsenal of tools to clear the board, making even your most threatening boards relatively easy to deal with for them. Regardless, Tempo Mage is a good deck for ladder right now, so we definitely suggest picking it up. Tier 2 is similar in power level currently to the top tier, and even features the same amount of decks. Tier 2 is typically weaker than Tier 1, and while this still stands true, the difference is less noticeable than it's ever been due to how well-rounded the meta is. Let's take a look at the deck that leads off Tier 2. The top deck within the second tier this time around is Libram Paladin. We mentioned it previously, but this archetype has been slowly rising to power following the nerfs to, well, every other deck. Pretty much since the start of this expansion, Paladin has just watched as every other class has been nerfed, leaving it to slowly rise to the top parts of the tier list. The inclusion of Penflingers have led to Libram Paladin having more pressure in games, explaining its surge in the meta. This archetype has good matchups against the majority of Tier 1 and Tier 2, with Soul Demon Hunter and Bomb Control Warrior being two of its better matchups. Both of these archetypes struggle against the constant pressure and value that the Paladin brings, making it hard for them to win. When it comes to difficult matchups though, Tempo Mage continues to be difficult for the Paladin to win. The Mage can stall out the game in a plethora of ways, and can even generate more value than the Paladin, making it very hard for Paladin to keep up at times. The last deck we'll be taking a look at today in this meta snapshot breakdown is Control Bomb Warrior. This archetype has seen play for quite a while and seems to refuse to die. Sadly, the archetype will struggle at times based on how many weapon removals are currently in the meta. When players are running Acidic Swamp Ooze, the Warrior will have a rough time and is often better benched until the meta shifts. Regardless though, Warrior is consistently performing well, as the archetype is versatile and can actively clear the boards while pressuring out opponents with their weapons. As you can imagine, Ooze and Sticky Fingers mess with that game plan, hence the reasoning that they determine Warrior's placement in the meta. Previously, Warrior saw play as an answer to Tempo Mage, and this remains true. This archetype bullies Tempo Mage and is one of the best answers to the deck and helps to keep it in check. Its bad matchup within the top tiers comes from the other Tier 2 deck, Libram Paladin. As we mentioned before, the deck can easily outvalue, outpressure, and outheal the Warrior, leaving the game to actively feel uninterrupted interactive at times. The standard meta has begun to feel stale, but luckily for us, the new expansion is on the horizon. Hopefully, madness at the Darkmoon Faire will save us with wonderful new cards, leaving the meta shaken up. We hope you enjoyed this Standard Meta Snapshot Breakdown. If the meta feels stale to you, we suggest taking some time off to try out the new game mode, or by playing some Battlegrounds before the new set drops. If you enjoyed the video, it'd be a huge help if you could take a moment to subscribe to our channel and turn notifications on to be kept up to date with all of our strategy game content. We appreciate the support and we want to wish you the best of luck in the new season. We'll see you next time!